Karen Ann Archer, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're headed out to Plein Air paint. Well, actually, I'm going to Plein Air paint. Brian's going to fish. So we are headed down in Kincaid Lake. Pendleton County in Kentucky. We have to stop and get earthworms. What else? Ground night crawlers. Ice. That's it. Of course, Brian's been rushing me out of the house all morning. Waiting on Brian to come back out of the store from getting worms. Pretty much got my bag loaded up. I may end up doing a video on my Plein Air setup, but I'll show you a little bit today. It's awfully windy, so I hope audio holds up where you can hear me. Well, that's an interesting container.
Yeah, it's float worthy. You got them off the boat, they float.
Oh, there are two there?
2 dozen.
Oh. I guess it'll be good too if your cooler melts and they can float on the water. I mean in your cooler.
Oh yeah.
Worms coming in like this little floating styrofoam container. That's cool.
It's been slammed all morning. Good thing. Lost about everything when you had that flood. Now he's recouping. Loving when city, town, people support local businesses. Especially at a time like this.
Does he call it Bell's?
Bell's Outdoor Sports in Indiana, Kentucky.
He needs to carry ice.
Yeah, he did have it. He was out, he said. He said he got nailed by 3 guys, 4 guys in boats this morning. They all loaded and wiped him out. Half of his picture he showed first this morning, he listed the bait. The cooler was full, now it's about gone. So as I told you, if we had got in much sooner, we probably would have been with those guys. They were buying skipjack and all kinds of stuff for catfishing and night crawlers, minnows. You need to get a minnow bucket. So I carry live minnows and hook them and throw them out there. And
how do you put them on the hook?
You got to go through the back, top of their back, you have to kill them, and that way they'll still swim. And freaking.
I still don't see how you put a cricket on a hook.
Just go right through him sideways.
Yeah, but it seems like it would just crumble apart.
Now, if you get the meat to the body, the legs might come off.
Okay, here's what I've got, and here's my scene. I can't really talk that loud due to other fishing going on. So, right here where the tree comes in, I've got it right here. And I'm kind of emphasizing these rocks. And the sun's coming and going, so I've already tried to use the highlights there. And I'm gonna put them in here, got the water line in. Just kind of bringing a path through here. So we'll check back in a little bit. Alright, here we are. I think we're going to do the rest in this video. Sorry I didn't get to video much. Trying to keep quiet for the other painter, for the other fishermen. I think in the studio we'll just go back and add some of the tree leaves to the pine trees. We pretty much got the pathway coming in. You can see Brian heading up the pathway, heading over to his side to go fish. Had a lot of problems with wind. That's why I couldn't do any filming. And so that's what we got. I do kind of like, I got some of the highlights in when the sun was out. I did play around with the water quite a bit. That was quite a bit of a challenge. But back where you can see Brian at right here, in the sunlight, that part right there was really lit. And I really like that. And these rocks right here was really lit. So I kind of put them in here and here. And that's where Brian was back in here fishing. Then you kind of have the trail coming in through there, so I tried to like lay that in right through there. Okay, so we'll finish up when we get to the house and back in the studio. I think we had a pretty good time. You see the little snake in the background sunbathing. I think we pretty much wrapped it up. I'm going to head back. Sorry I couldn't film it all. Due to the wind, it would have knocked my camera over. I couldn't hold the tripod up and the camera. So until we head back, really had a good time. It's a really nice gal, the house. Make sure I don't forget nothing. All in all, I think it was a pretty successful day. Quite a bit of overcast. Sun did pipe through of trees a little bit. It would have been nice if it was out a little longer. A little less snakes would have been nice. But actually I thought it was pretty good. A little bit of hike, get out and get some fresh air. Gotta enjoy that plein air painting. Did lose my canteen in the water. Had to fish it back out. Guess ain't nothing wrong with a little lake water and tea mixed together. Ain't nothing like country girl. Getting bites? You hope it was a what?
Water moccasin.
No, why did you want to see water moccasin?
Because I want to see with the head. When I'm close, you can see the difference between a garter snake
I didn't want to see no water moccasin.
and the eyes and the head, the way it shakes.
And what kind do you think that was? It's a little bee thing.
It was probably about 2 foot long. That was just a garter snake.
Well, he didn't care what you were doing.
No, as long as it didn't move. It didn't move any. It just lay there.
Okay, we're back in the studio. I still have some leftover paint on here. The Van Dyke Brown and the Titanium White. Got my colors here. I kind of need to fix this area right in here. And put in just some, mostly it was pine leaves, so gonna add the pine leaves, pine needles, however you want to say it, into the background. One thing I like about bringing it back into the studio is that you really get the opportunity to stop focusing on what you see out in your plein air environment and really get to concentrate on seeing what the painting actually needs to really become a finished product. So we're just going to go in. This I did in the Nepal's yellow with the white titanium back in here. That's where that sun was hitting. So I'm going to put it, I've gotten it a little too light, I believe. So I'm going to calm that down a bit. And I notice my paints on here are, you know, a little bit dry. So I'm going to put in some shadows. I think I'm going to make this like hill come down here. Yeah, I like how that kind of makes it look like there's a hill. Wash my brush. Some of the raw sienna. Add that to our palette down here. And kind of bring that tree down. Since we went out plein air painting, this has been probably 48 hours later since we've been out. So what I've got on there has dried pretty good, because that liquid original works with some pretty good stuff. So I kind of like that. I'm just kind of, we need to bring it, this highlight, there we go, kind of gets in. I like how it's lit, but it's almost too lit. There we go. So I got that back in there. Kind of digging that. Might add a little bit of some extra brush strokes down here. Along in this, pushing the shoreline a little bit out. Because it appears to be the water's really deep. And some shadows in the shoreline. There, I really like that. But that's good. I need to straighten up a few trees. I'll probably have to straighten up the trees with the sky. It was using the cobalt blue. That's such a rich color. I really liked using it. And in the top, or in the sky, I also was into my cobalt teal, which gave me a really pretty sky. I bought the color actually to do water. In Kentucky, we have a lot of green to our water due to the mud, and we have a lot of clay mud, so it kind of gives this green appearance. But I think it's pretty to bring a little bit of the blue out and use your, what is it, the artistic license to do that. So I'm just going to come back in here and straighten up a few of the trees. And it's going to be hard to match this color. I really want to straighten that tree up. Whoops. It's alright. And this one here's gotten a little bit too thick at the top. You know, a tree gets thinner as it goes to the top of the tree, so we need to thin these back out. I like how that looks. Okay, now let's get in and get some leaves in here and finish this up. I don't want to overwork it. I don't want to put a whole lot of leaves in, but definitely want to get my leaves in. And we're going to try the cobalt green, which is a new color for me. I also have sap green, which is what I've pretty much been using before the cobalt green came. But the sap color, it doesn't tint well. It is whatever color, the sap color, it is what it is. It doesn't give a really nice tint. So I've kind of been a little aggravated with it because I can't do much with it. So hopefully the cobalt green will give me some more diversity. I've got a really old brush that's kind of sprayed out at the ends. Just because your brushes aren't exactly what they used to be, they really do give a nice ability to do textures. You also got to remember the pine trees kind of go down in a ziggy-zaggy. And there wasn't a whole lot out there. And I may go in and take a bigger brush. I'm just kind of putting them in. I don't want to put a whole lot into the trees. It's really not my focal point. My focal point really is here, and I may go back and have to add some highlights to really let that focal point show up versus the lightness of the water. I am going into the Van Dyke brown, darkening up that cobalt green, and really just lay in some brush work here on these trees. This tree here, I'm really just gonna, and I'm just kind of whopping and pushing. I'm gonna decide I'm gonna have this tree in front of that one, so. And I can go back and do a little bit of the titanium white, lighten up a few of the branches. Get some highlights. Kind of want to leave it dark over here because I don't want to try to leave the painting, so we're going to kind of, that looks good to me. Let's see. I do want to go back up here a little bit more to this tree. Make him really thick. I'm going to let him come on over top of this tree. Decide on where they are. Okay. He needs to get a little bit more definition here. Kind of like that. I might add, I like how it's open here. Now, way back in the back, I don't want the colors to be in really strong in the background to give that atmosphere. So I'm not dipping back in my brush at all. Kind of using what's on there. I'm going to add a little bit floating around out here. Off this. Might leave him a strong tree here as far as the tree trunk. Give him little scragglies. Actually, through here, I want to go back and add a little bit on these because I don't want to try to show it. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. I'm going to wash this brush. Now, I'm going to fix some of these trees. Yesterday, when we were out there painting, it really, when I was doing my water, it was mixing in with my tree trunk, so kind of let them come back in. Him up a tad here, bring him back in. Now I'm going to go back into the, just got a tad bit green in it, then Impal's yellow. And I don't want to get it too bright. I'm back over in this Van Dyke brown. And I've got it really liquidy with the Liquid Original. So I'm almost trying to come in with like a wash over this. There you go. Here I'm going to take a dry brush and I'm going to blend it. And if you do hear the noise in the background, that is my fan because this liquid is pretty strong, especially in the studio. It doesn't really bother me out plein air painting, but In the studio, you really need to have the door open or window open and really get the air flowing. Add a little bit more back in this area. A little bit of highlights on my shoreline back. And brush strokes matter, so if I'm going down a little cliff right here, you want to make sure you're rubbing up and down so it kind of gives that appearance of a cliff. We can go back in and a little bit darker back to it. Just give some highlights. Oh, I like that. And I want to actually come back here with a little bit of green. There was moss out. It is the end of April, so we did have some moss coming on the trees. Add a little bit of greenery back to everything. Signs of spring. I was hoping I'd get some of the dogwood trees blooming, but down in this area, not much was going on as far as blooming. And it was a very gloomy day. A lot of overcast. I got to the point where either I could catch the sun rays and paint it, or I could try to catch the sun rays for you all to see it on film. And I kind of chose just to catch it in the painting, which is really what you have to consider is when you have that light coming in from the sun, you need to, if you're working on something else, stop. Go right to your highlights and get them in, because that sun will leave. It's always changing, and that is really the challenge, and actually what's really fun about plein air painting is that you are chasing the light. You are chasing these different shadows and highlights, and that's what you're trying to catch. When you are there, you want to catch and get the lights. I'm just going back in and hitting these highlights again. I know the highlight was casting in this way, so I just want to lighten it up on this side of the trees. This area here actually was dark when it was hitting in. I think that's probably it. I want to leave that tree out there. Might be able to help just bring this tree in a little bit, make him pop. Okay, that's it. I'm pretty happy with what I've got. Thank you for this plein air adventure. It was very interesting on my first plein air adventure to do any videoing at all. It was not only a challenge to paint it, it was a challenge to video it, and due to the wind, like I said many times in the video, I couldn't film it during it. It was either I had to choose to paint or film, so of course you're out there to paint, and until next time, keep painting.